without giving your hard-earned money to your power or fuel companies. By making an investment in a central boiler outdoor wood furnace from Mountain Pines Wood Furnaces, you'll be using our inexpensive and abundant wood resources for your heating needs and for a fraction of what your normal winter energy costs would be. Mountain Pines Outdoor Wood Furnaces of Sturgis invite you to stop in and check out our new Classic Edge Central Boiler Furnace. Give us a call at 605-347-1042.
Here's your Kim Radio weather forecast. A winter storm watch begins at 5 a.m. Friday morning and continues until 11 a.m. Saturday. Chance of snow tonight, otherwise cloudy skies expected. Lows level off around 4 above, winds out of the southwest around 5 miles an hour. Snow likely tomorrow, high of 22. 6 above tomorrow night, chance of snow. That's your forecast on Kim Radio, Talk That Matters. Currently 9 above.
This is where South Dakota sports fans come for real South Dakota sports talk. Welcome to SD Sports Buzz Tonight with Nate Brown. From East River to West River, high school to college to the pros. This is your sports talk show that covers it all. And now, on Kim Radio, Talk That Matters, the host of SD Sports Buzz Tonight, here's Nate Brown.
Hi again, everybody. Welcome back in Western South Dakota's only live and local sports radio program. The polar vortex in full effect. It's basketball season, and we are ready to go. 2 hours jam-packed, getting you set and getting you plugged in on high school basketball, the college basketball ranks, the Hard Rockers at home this upcoming weekend. We'll preview it with head coach Jason Henry on tap. Let's get you locked and loaded over the next 2 hours with South Dakota Sports Talk of the biggest sports newsmakers here in Rapid City and beyond. Nate Brown back in the studio, SD Sports Buzz Tonight, back on the air. It's kind of a tough month for us. December, a tough month for us with all the things going on, as all of you have planned. Christmas activities, Christmas parties, all of that stuff. And by the way, I have to just rub it in a little bit. We are excited to be on tonight. 2 hours of South Dakota Sports Talk, getting you the coaches and all the season previews and everything that we're going to do tonight. Next week, we're off the air. Why is that? I'm going to be in a good location, as I mentioned, this polar vortex in full effect. You can tell it's really basketball season out there. I'm going to be in San Diego, California next Wednesday, going to my first ever bowl game. I've covered high school athletics, college athletics, even did a stint in Washington, D.C., and covered the Redskins and the Wizards at the professional level. I've never been to a college football bowl game, and there's way too many of them, right? But I'm glad there's one in San Diego that I get to go to next Wednesday. So I'm going to the Poinsettia Bowl, where the Wyoming Cowboys take on BYU. My history there, my brother played at Wyoming, so we're going to have a big shindig down there and meet him down there. And so I get to rub it in a little bit on, the weather around here. And my wife's not even going, and that's probably a mistake on my part. I'm going to have to come up big over the Christmas holiday, no question about it. So we will be off the air next week, but we are locked and loaded, and it'll be great. As I come back, I'll give you a little recap of San Diego and the Poinsettia Bowl. Should be a fun matchup, actually, the actual football game, but I'm most excited about the San Diego weather, as you might tell. This hour tonight, we'll talk to Dave Hollenbeck here, St. Thomas More head boys basketball coach, who's back for another great run. They finished second last year in the State A right here in Rapid City and didn't lose a ton. They really didn't. But a key spot, in my opinion, the point guard spot, great player last year for the Cavaliers, who really ran the show and really did a great job even in the postseason and the tournament run. St. Thomas More off to a pretty good start. Couldn't get by Sioux Falls, Washington, the big school here this past weekend, but beat Douglas last night and maybe a closer game throughout, about 3/4 than many people thought. We'll talk to Coach Hollenbeck for the first time this basketball season, appearing live in the program straight ahead. I talked about him, Jason Henry, and South Dakota Mines men's basketball program, really off to an unbelievable start. They beat the number 18 team in the country in Colorado Mines, only the 6th time in history that the Hard Rockers have beaten Colorado Mines, a perennial power. And South Dakota Mines and Jason Henry feeling good going into the weekend matchup at home on Friday against Chadron State and Saturday against Regis. We'll talk to Jason Henry. What's the difference between the Hard Rockers last year and now a great start this year where they've won some big games on the road at University of Mary, and the last 2 games here at home, conference wins in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. The Hard Rocker men off to a good start under head coach Jason Henry. He'll join us live. Also going to get a perspective from out East River, Sioux Falls KWSN's Craig Maddock on live tonight. Here on the program, we'll hear from Michael Brooks, head coach for the Rapid City Stevens girls. By the way, Kim Talk Radio, your home for Raider Nation, Raider basketball this weekend. You can hear Brian Fisher live with the girls taking on Huron on Friday, Mitchell on Saturday afternoon. That'll be live right here, the Rapid City Stevens girls basketball program here on Kim Talk Radio, and we'll talk to their head coach, Michael Brooks, who steps in for the his first year as the Raider coach, and they had a tough game against Sioux Falls, Washington this past weekend. It could have went either way, and they ended up on the short end just barely, but hearing good things about the Raider girls. We'll talk to Coach Brooks on tap. On the boys' side, also got off to an outstanding start. The Rapid City Stevens Raider boys looking good in that first game, and I mean, really surprising a lot of people throughout the state. Sioux Falls, Washington comes in top ranked, and Chris Stabner and the Raider boys take care of them by 13. And Chris Stabner will join us live. And another team that seems like they could make another big run this year, the St. Thomas More girls. They have just been untouchable the last few years. They really have. And Brandon Candlin, head coach at St. Thomas More, will join us as they get a big win over Sioux Falls, Washington just this past weekend. We'll talk to Brandon Candlin, head coach of the Cavalier girls. A big rundown, a big show on tap. I want to start with the opening buzz tonight and welcome you into the program, 106.7 FM, Kim Talk Radio, our radio home for SD Sports Buzz tonight. And, of course, you can watch the live stream. Welcome you in on SDSportsBuzz.com. Live stream anywhere you can watch it. The opening buzz tonight, I got to tell you, I look at this early high school basketball season, and I don't know if many people would expect what we saw in the opening weekend. And I'm going to take this even further and look at AA basketball on the boys' side first. I look at the AA teams out here on the boys' side, folks, and I know it was a great opening win for Stevens. And then you saw Rapid City Central go 0-3, but pretty darn competitive against some really good programs over there in Wyoming. We're talking Cheyenne East, Cheyenne Central, some of these big programs over in Wyoming, and the Cobblers were a little shorthanded and still competed very well. Sturgis is 2-0. The Sturgis boys 2-0, impressive wins. And then Douglas looking pretty good. I mean, competitive last night against St. Thomas More, a good state championship contender St. Thomas More team, and Douglas looked good at St. Thomas More last night. I look at these AA boys basketball teams. I'm going to come out early, and I'll talk to Craig Maddock about this, KWSN Sioux Falls Sports Radio up next. Our AA boys team, this might be one of the most competitive, and I'm not talking parity. We've seen parity in this district out here. Talking about those 4 teams, Douglas, Central, Stevens, Sturgis. We've seen parity. That doesn't necessarily relate to competitive. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying this might be one of the more competitive districts out here in West River that we've seen in a long time. And I'm telling you, Stevens is darn good. Sturgis is darn good. Central, I think, is good. They're going to have a tough time, again, a little shorthanded in the early going here. They might have a tough time with that, but I think they're going to be competitive. I really do. And then Douglas is going to be more competitive than anybody ever thinks. They really are. This is a good basketball district. I do believe that. So I'll come out early and say it. Keep your eye on these teams, and I think Stevens looks the best right now. But I'm not so sure how far Sturgis is behind there either, because, and Central for that matter. I look at, let me just give you a perspective. How do our teams, it's only been 1 or 2 games for some of these teams. How do they stack up when you always talk about Sioux Falls, especially on the football side? We always talk about Sioux Falls dominating high school football, and it gets old and it gets old. It's been really Sioux Falls winning state championships in basketball for quite some time as well. The Stevens and the Centrals have been in there. They've been close at times. They haven't been able to get over the top. I look at how we compare early on here. Just out of the opening weekend, we're talking about a Stevens team that beat Sioux Falls, Washington by 13, okay? Just put this in perspective. Stevens boys beat Sioux Falls, Washington by 13 in the opening game. Sioux Falls, Washington just beat Sioux Falls, Roosevelt last night. A crosstown rivalry out there. Washington, who lost to Stevens by 13, just beat Sioux Falls, Roosevelt by 33. Okay, so I don't know how bad or good Sioux Falls, Roosevelt is, but I'm just telling you, the Raider boys, I think, have something going. I think have a good opportunity to be very, very solid and toward the top of AA basketball all season long. If they can stay consistent, this Raider boys team, look out. This might be an opportunity for Rapid City Stevens to be right in the mix toward the top all season long. I do believe that. It's only one weekend. You don't want to overreact. Nate, don't overreact. And then everybody always gets ahead of themselves. I get it. That doesn't really happen very much where a Rapid City team, whether it's Central, Stevens, we beat Washington by 13. The Raiders beat them by 13. Washington just beat Sioux Falls, Roosevelt last night by 33. Just bringing these headlines your way so you're aware, where do we really stack up? And I'm going out early saying this district out here, District 4, Stevens, Sturgis, Central, Douglas, pretty good teams. Maybe from top to bottom, the best I've seen from these four in quite some time as a comprehensive unit, as a comprehensive look. Best I've seen top to bottom in the district, probably the best I've seen collectively as a group. I think it's going to be a fun season, no doubt. We've seen over the years the St. Thomas Moors just be the story, and they have been the story consistently year after year. They really have. They are going to be the story as well. The St. Thomas More boys, right there, right where they need to be this year. They're going to be excellent. St. Thomas More girls going to be outstanding, but also AA basketball, especially on the boys' side, going to look very, very good. By the way, the girls on the girls' side in AA looked pretty good too in the opening weekend. They really did. We'll talk to all the coaches, get their perspective. I think it's going to be a fun season of high school basketball. I really do. And you can hear it this weekend. Kim Radio, the Rapid City Stevens Raider girls take on Huron on Friday night, Mitchell on Saturday afternoon live here on Kim Talk Radio. We'll preview the season and get a Sioux Falls perspective. What do they think of our teams out here as well? Craig Maddock of KWSN Sioux Falls Sports Radio kicks things off next. This is SD Sports Buzz tonight here with Nate Brown.
Quality and service first. Mel's Auto Body. Get a drive-through estimate or come on in. We're right here under the big red M. Over 30 years our family has put quality and service first. We take pride in making sure you're satisfied. Quality and service first. Mel's Auto Body.
You've got it locked on South Dakota's sports talk show, SD Sports Buzz Tonight with Nate Brown on Kim Radio. Talk that matters.
At Farm Bureau, we know life insurance might not be the first thing on your mind today or any other day, but we also know that deep down, everyone wants to do the right thing for their family, and that means protecting what matters most. You might not want to think about life insurance right now, but right now is the right time to talk to a Farm Bureau agent. We'll make it easy for you. Farm Bureau agents make insurance simple.
Call me, Tom Berger, your Farm Bureau agent in Rapid City, at 348-3470.
Make the mountains your backyard. Make the lake your pool and the night sky your high-definition television. Stop by Dakota Discount RVs today and take a look at our wide variety of new and used fifth wheels, travel trailers, toy haulers, and more. We're sure you'll find something you love at a price you can afford. We take pride in our integrity and service long after the deal, so why pay more for good memories when you can buy with a comfortable, low-pressure, locally owned and operated RV dealer? At Dakota Discount RV, we can make your dreams come true at an affordable price.
3330 East Mall Drive, Rapid City.
In Rapid City, you've got a friend in real estate. Hi, I'm Ellen Roach. When buying or selling your home or property, Will Dixon is the man to see.
Will invites you to experience the Keller Williams culture. Whether you're buying or selling, he can assist you through the entire process with a free market analysis and advise you on all your options. Will handles all phases of real estate and has built a track record for success. Call Will Dixon at Keller Williams Black Hills, 390-1140, and let him be your friend in real estate.
Welcome back. SD Sports Buzz tonight presented by Save-A-Lot Food Store. Save-A-Lot on East St. Patrick Street for the best prices on meat. Cut daily in the store. Save-A-Lot Food Stores, East St. Patrick Street. As you get stocked up for the holidays, do it there. I'm telling you, the best prices on groceries in Rapid City at Save-A-Lot Food Store. Stop in, find out for yourself. On East St. Patrick Street coming up, Rapid City Stevens' new girls head coach Michael Brooks on tonight. We have Coach Brooks on for the first time tonight as the Raider girls looked pretty good in the opening game. Great young players for the Raider girls. We'll see how they come along. I don't know if they're going to quite be able to, be there at the end because of the youth. They just have some young players, but that program's looking pretty good, set up pretty good. Coach Brooks coming on shortly. Dave Holland back on tap tonight, St. Thomas More boys coach, moments away. To preview high school basketball, want to get some East River perspective. KWSN Sioux Falls Sports Radio, Craig Maddock on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line. Craig, how are you?
Hey, Nate, I'm doing great. Nice to hear from you.
I'll tell you, it's an interesting time right now. I just started my show tonight, Craig, with West River basketball at the AA level. On the boys' side, I'm looking Stevens, Central, Douglas, Sturgis. I'm looking at that district, a district that gets forgotten about over the years here. And I'm telling you, I'm looking at it early, and our teams out here, and I'm not saying Douglas is going to beat a lot of big schools necessarily, but they're going to be way more competitive than you think. And I think Stevens, even Central, Sturgis, they're pretty good this year. I wonder if people are noticing this early.
Well, I think Stevens made a mark right away when they beat right out of the chute Sioux Falls, Washington, right?
Yeah, right.
Right out of the chute.
Right.
Great win. Washington is one of those teams, though, that I've looked at that, they made it to the championship game last year. They got a lot of players that were on that team last year. It's amazing. They have like 7 or 8 seniors, and they got like 6 juniors. The seniors didn't go out for football, but the juniors did, and the juniors may be the more athletic of what they got. I think Washington's going to be really good, but I got the spotlight on Stevens. When you got Archambault out there, he's leading that crew out there. I saw him at the state tournament. That's a team that I can't wait to see in person.
Well, I'm telling you, when you talk about Archambault's a great player, maybe the best guard in South Dakota. He really might be this year. And his colleague there, his counterpart, Jacob Martin. Martin and Archambault, those two guards, they might be the best tandem in South Dakota. This is going to be a really good team. I really believe that.
You get a little size with that. I mean, if you're going to win a state title, for the most part, in the AA ranks, you've got to have a big and you got to have a shooter. You got to have both. For the most part, that's what you got to have. And we've seen state champions over the past couple of years. You got to have a big, because if you don't have a big, you can certainly neutralize your shooters from the outside. So if Stevens can get a big and play part of that inside game, they're going to become dangerous.
No doubt. The interiors, that's the question mark, right? So we'll keep an eye on it. By the way, just don't overlook a team like Sturgis. They go out and beat on the road. They beat Aberdeen Central right away. Sturgis is looking pretty good. Central started off by playing the Wyoming schools, and you guys aren't familiar with, but playing Cheyenne schools and losing but being competitive. I think this district out here is going to get noticed. I want to ask you about your guys back there, because I look at it. Let's just put this into perspective for me. Stevens boys beat Washington by 13 out here. And then I look at this game last night. Washington beats Roosevelt by 33. I mean, I don't know how bad or good Roosevelt is, but what's the story in Sioux Falls? Washington, Roosevelt, O'Gorman, these teams.
O'Gorman, I think, is going to be one of those. They've got Cartwright. They've got Costello back. We've got them right now ranked number 1 in our poll. But I tell you what, Washington's going to be right there. Lincoln's going to be there. And Roosevelt, too. I mean, Roosevelt lost a little bit from last year. They're going to be in the mix. You know, they're going to be in that same district as O'Gorman, Watertown, and Brookings. Brookings may make some noise in the ESD. District 2, Brandon Valley is one that is loaded. They are so loaded with talent. They got size. Juergens is 6'7". They got a lot of those athletes that were on that state run for the football title. They're on that team. They're loaded with seniors. They got great size. Brandon Valley, Lincoln, and Washington. That is going to be tough. Then you got Yankton. Yankton's got some size and more experience, and I just think no one is going to be head and shoulders. No one's going to go undefeated. I really think District 2 is going to be one that's going to be fun to watch as well.
Yeah, I look at this and I wonder, you said you had O'Gorman ranked number 1. Where do you have the rankings? Craig Maddock, KWSN. Where do you see these other teams? So, for example, Stevens, you haven't seen them this year. They only played one game, but just
I got them top 5.
Okay, how does it sit?
I got O'Gorman, Washington, Brandon Valley, Stevens, and did I say Lincoln already? I can't remember. Yeah, it's O'Gorman, Washington, Brandon Valley, Lincoln, Stevens. They're all right there. Those are top 5 right now.
I'll tell you, you got to move Stevens over Washington. Okay, I mean they already beat them by 13. It was they handle them out here. So I'll start voting in that, and we'll get some.
I'll give them all top 5. You know, I mean it is way too early to really go 2, 3, 4, 5. It's too early, but those schools I just mentioned, they're all top 5.
Very interesting. Okay, I want to go to Class A really quick in Class A basketball. St. Thomas More is loaded up pretty good. They lost a key spot at point guard spot. That's where they have a concern, but they have pretty much everyone else back. When you look at Class A, what do you see out there, especially East River-wise? We saw a great Sioux Falls Christian team last year win the whole thing. They've come out guns a-blazing. What do you see out there in that tough Region 3, by the way? I'm talking Madison, Del Rapids, Sioux Falls Christian. That's always a good one to watch.
Well, I know you got Coach Hollenbeck coming up, so I got to say something nice about him. Hold on, let me think here a second.
It's not too hard.
Say, Tom, I like Kortemeyer. He's one of the top players in the state. When you got a big like that, you work on your perimeter game, and St. Thomas More is going to be right back at it. I tell you what, Sioux Valley is a team that has scored a lot of points right now. Watch out for Sioux Valley. You know, otherwise, those same players that were at the top in Class A in football, they're going to fight each other in basketball. Sioux Falls Christian, Madison, even put Del Rapids in there. T area is getting some support already. Those same athletes, and you see that in the lower class, or I shouldn't say lower class, in Class A, Class B, whether it's boys basketball or girls basketball, in those classes, if you've got athletes, and we saw them whether they were in volleyball or in basketball for the most part, or in football rather, you're going to see those teams playing some good basketball and be right there in their districts or regions. But you're going to see that, especially Madison, the Laytons and the Yankees, and I mean they got size. It is so good to know that we've got the Sweet 16 in Class A, where you probably will see a couple of teams from the same region going to the state tournament.
So you're on record liking the Sweet 16 model here.
Yes, I do. I know. I liked it with volleyball. They did that in Class A. It's time for Double A, a little different. There's a way. Got to figure that out yet. But Class B should be going to it because you got two arguments. One argument is you have regional representation, or you try to get the best teams record-wise and seeding points at your state tournament. So far, I do like the Sweet 16. Well,
I've talked about it for a long time, trying to get to that model too, and I think it's going to be a good model. I really do. I think it's going to put some great teams there at the state tournament. I think it's going to elevate the state tournament. Lastly,
I know that Custer didn't like some volleyball this year. I know that they could have, should have, would have been in the state tournament, but that they got bumped out there in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, and you're going to hear arguments from various schools here. I mean, I really do believe that. I'll let you run with this. Is it too early to tell if in that Region 3, we keep talking about Region 3 in Class A because it's always stacked up. Madison, Del Rapids, Sioux Falls Christian, those are kind of the players early. Is this Madison team, are these same athletes good basketball players, or are they just good athletes? I mean, we've seen great basketball teams at Madison. I'm just not so sure this is a great basketball team.
Athleticism is really good. Coach Ricky has got it figured out. He's a great coach. If you have athletes on your squad, and they got a bunch of them, you can take away a lot of problems that you have. If you got someone that you got a couple that can shoot and you play defense and you got some bigs, you got a chance. And these kids have been around at Madison for a while. I think I really like Madison. Sioux Falls Christian lost a lot from last year, but they got a couple of good players. Maybe a number one ranking is just honoring them because they won it all last year. But that district is going to be rough again.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Sioux Falls Christian scored over 80 points in their first two games here, by the way, in both games. Craig Maddock, KWSN Sioux Falls Sports Radio. You can listen to him every weekday afternoon, KWSN.com. Craig, back to work, man. I appreciate you coming on.
I will see you in March in Rapid City for the AA Combined.
All right. Looking forward to it. Appreciate it. We'll talk throughout the year. Craig Maddock on tonight on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line from Sioux Falls, KWSN Sioux Falls Sports Radio. Basically kind of telling us the AA boys. I was wondering really what his perspective was on the AA boys, the teams to watch. And it sounds like O'Gorman, Washington, Lincoln in the mix there with Brandon Valley. And then he threw Stevens in there. So talking about some of the same customers, O'Gorman, Washington, Lincoln, Brandon Valley, and Stevens also in that mix. I'm just here to say tonight, Stevens is more in the mix than people even realize. And it's just one game. Don't overreact, just one game. They have really, really good guards. Maybe the best guard tandem in South Dakota. It really might be the best guard tandem in South Dakota in Martin and Archambault. That makes a big difference. Great guard play, does a lot for you. There's no doubt. And Stevens, they don't, people aren't even realizing it yet. They're going to be right in the mix. That wasn't a fluke. The defense that they're playing and the offensive skill, they didn't even play that well offensively this past weekend in that win over Washington. Stevens is going to be in the mix, I'm telling you. We come right back, talk Hard Rocker basketball. South Dakota Mines off to a great start in men's college basketball, and they're back at home this weekend trying to move their record to a 4-win mark in conference play. We'll talk to head coach of the Hard Rockers, Jason Henry, a monumental win for him, a benchmark win. What win was it this past Saturday night? We'll talk to Coach Henry next.
It's time for winter and time for shopping for a new four-wheel drive vehicle. The new 2017s are filling the lot, and the selection is great with over 150 here now and arriving daily. Drive an all-wheel drive 2017 Chevy Equinox and save over $4,000. Or drive a four-wheel drive 2017 Chevy Silverado half-ton crew cab and save nearly $8,000. Don't forget to grab your clean, gently used coats on your way out the door. It's our 7th annual coat drive for youth and family services. Feel the difference at Rapid Chevrolet, Rapid City, or see us online at rapidchevrolet.com.
Dale's Tire and Retreading has been providing quality brands of tires and excellent service to the Black Hills area for over 50 years. Dale's Tires sells tires for cars, trucks, SUVs, agriculture, construction, and more. Dale's Tire has what you need when you need it and offers appointment times to get you in and out faster. See the experts at Dale's Tire and Retreading. 2 convenient locations in Rapid City, 691 Deadwood Avenue and 3200 Campbell Street. Dale's Tire and Retreading. Real South Dakota sports talk for real South Dakota sports fans. This is SD Sports Buzz Tonight with Nate Brown on Kim Radio. Talk that matters. Looking for a winning team? Check out the Black Hills Unbeatable Tandem of Xerox and the color experts at Matheson's. Hit a home run with the Xerox Workcenter MFP today, and you'll be able to print, copy, and scan your crucial business documents and marketing materials just like the pros do. Matheson's cost per copy program is the safe play every time. You pay nothing up front for the equipment, and the high cost of supplies and repairs become a nightmare of the past. Visit the Matheson's team of Xerox All-Stars at 324 St. Joe Street, downtown Rapid City, or at mathesons.com. Listen to what Pro Auto Care customers have to say.
I go to Tom because he's there for me. I have 7 vehicles on the road on a daily basis, and I know that if something goes on, he'll fix it. He'll fix it right the first time, and if we have an issue with a part, he'll stand behind it. I mean, if we had a part fail that he installed, he'd get the new part and he would install it again, and I'd only pay for it once. Everybody that I know that needs work on their car, I say this is the only place I would go.
Pro Auto Care. Phone 342-0857, 1891 Rand Road, Rapid City.
South Dakota Sports Talk Show live on 106.7 FM, Kim Talk Radio, and online at sdsportsbuzz.com. Streaming live right there. Basketball season is upon us. Football season just flew by. We are knee-deep into basketball season, and you can tell things getting exciting, no doubt. We're talking high school hoops tonight as that really gets going here this past weekend. Teams getting their first games under their belt. The college basketball season has been going, and I'll tell you, it's been going at a good rate and a good start for the Hard Rocker men's basketball team. They come and win this last weekend at home on Friday and Saturday in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, and some monumental victory for the Hard Rockers on Saturday, being a top 20 team in Colorado Mines, and now South Dakota Mines at home this weekend again, Friday night against Chadron State, and Saturday against Regis out of Denver. We talked to head coach of the Hard Rockers, Jason Henry, on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line. Coach, how are you?
Good. Thanks. Great to be on, Nate.
I want to talk about this past weekend. You beat Colorado Christian on Friday, a team that was off to a great start, a team that was very, very good in a lot of their early games. You beat Colorado Christian, then you come right back, and you beat Colorado Mines, a team that's ranked number 18 in the country, a team that's beaten so many teams over the years, and you guys have had a tough time with them. Just those 2 victories, you don't want to end your season now, right? But those 2 victories, when you really reflect on it, what does that say to where the program was, climbing, how this season has started here at home?
Well, you're exactly right. Number one, we want to make sure that's not the highlight of our season. It's definitely going to be a big part of it. But our ultimate goal is to get into that conference tournament, and you have to win some games like that. But yeah, you're right. As far as being a big deal for our program, taking some leaps and bounds. Last year we had a chance to be pretty good. Pretty unfortunate with a couple injuries to some major guys, especially on the scoring side. But our guys, battled through, and we got some time, with some guys that might not have got as much time last year because of those injuries. And those guys are back now and have some opportunities to compete at a very high level. And you always talk about it. You always think that you can be there, but you just never know, until you play those top 20 teams, or in our case, the Colorado Mines. That's kind of been a thorn in our side for, honestly, all of our programs, but especially the men's basketball, and haven't had a chance to beat them, but got them on our home court finally, and came out with a win. So we were excited, but like I told our guys Monday morning, we got to regroup and make sure that we're concentrating on Chadron and Regis now coming into this weekend.
That Saturday victory over Colorado Mines, you led by double digits for the most part. It wasn't a squeaker. It wasn't a fluke. You led by double digits. You win it comfortably. Why is this year's team looking early here, able to win games like that? Despite the injuries and things, it seems like you just got some things going with this year's team balance-wise. Why are you able to get wins like that?
Well, number one, we got, 6 seniors. A couple of them do have some injuries. A few of them have been in our program for 5 years now, and they've been kind of through the ringer a little bit with being an independent for a few years, and they've kind of had everything thrown at them. So for us to go on a road game, or on the road and play one game against the University of Mary, it was nothing for us. As far as understanding what it takes to win on the road, and we played really well up there, and that kind of showed teams, showed us, showed everybody that we can win on the road. Number one, against a very good University of Mary team, and we played well against University of UCCS out in Colorado Springs, other than about a 10-minute stretch, but we just didn't score like we needed to. But yeah, bounce back and be at home, and our guys have worked their tails off in the summer. Our strength coaches have done a good job of keeping them out of injuries and some of those kind of things. But we thought we had the talent to be able to compete in the RMAC. And now we're kind of proving that, but we still got a long ways to go. I was looking at the schedule again today, and it almost makes me sick looking at the teams that are coming in and just being in this RMAC. It's a very, very good conference, and if you're not ready to play night in and night out, no matter who we're playing or who's playing us, you're going to have your hands full. So we got to bring our A game every time. But we did. We played pretty well. Colorado Christian is a very good team. They're 3-1, second in the conference. Had a chance to beat them, and we're playing pretty well right now, but that can turn in a hurry if we're not careful and make sure that we keep going to practice every day and playing hard.
South Dakota Mines at home this weekend. By the way, you can watch the Hard Rockers take on Chadron State on Friday. Women's game at 5:30, men at 7:30, and then Saturday afternoon the Hard Rockers take on Regis in a conference battle, 3:30 and 5:30 with those games. Talking to Jason Henry, head coach of the Hard Rocker men's basketball team. They're 2-2 in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. You got some momentum here, it seems like. I mean, you guys are on a win streak right now. What's the momentum do for you in college basketball?
Well, just the confidence. We talked about it at our luncheon, and just seeing the ball go through the hole. Well, we know we can shoot the ball this year. We only shot 28% and still beat a really good Colorado Mines, shooting 28% from the three-point line, and we think that's one of our assets in our program right now. So we're able to get some stops. The ball doesn't always go in the hole night in and night out, and if we can continue to get better on the defensive end and really buy into what we're trying to get accomplished at that end, we can compete with anybody, and I think our guys, just on the confidence-wise and just seeing what happens when you shoot 28%, still come away with a big victory against a top 20 school. It's not because of your offense necessarily, even though our offense did well. It's because of our defense. And our guys are buying in. They're playing well. They're great teammates. They're good chemistry. All those things that kind of get messed up with a lot of talented teams is they just play hard for each other. And once again, we got to continue to do that. If we lose a couple games here and there, that kind of thing, I think we got that senior leadership that, a lot of times you're losing and you can come back to practice and you get refocused. It's when you're winning some and everybody's telling you how good you are and patting you on the back on campus and saying, oh, it's a great win, and how you handle success. And that's one of the things that we got to do a better job of now is making sure that we're handling success as well as we handle, coming in after a tough loss and being ready to go. We got to make sure we keep that focus when we are winning games and having some success.
That's what I was going to ask you about this weekend. You've got Chadron State Friday. You got Regis Saturday. A lot of people saying, man, the Hard Rockers are rolling. Let's go and watch this. This is a great thing happening. Does that worry you a little bit? Do you have to send a message to your guys, even more of a message of, hey, we got to be dialed in this weekend?
Typically in the past we would, and we have, don't get me wrong, but like I said, we got 6 seniors that, when they were freshmen and sophomores, we won 13 games in a row at home, and they handled that success. I think one of the years we were 10-0 at home. They just came ready to go every night and made sure we defended our home court. And I get that same feeling with these guys. This week was kind of hard to see, how we were just because it's finals week. They kind of don't have that focus that we probably need, to bring it every day and that kind of stuff. But I kind of think that's the final side of it. Hopefully, but all that being said is we do. I think the guys understand the importance of these games being at home. We know we got to win our games at home. Split on the road kind of thing. And without splitting on the road this last time that we had our first road games, we didn't get that split. We lost 2, so we know we have to win at home if we want to get to where we want to go goal-wise and get into that conference tournament. So it hasn't gotten to that point yet as far as coaches, but our senior leadership once again has done a great job for us so far.
Hard Rockers at home Friday night against Chadron State. Always a fun matchup. Saturday afternoon, it's Regis. Armac College basketball. South Dakota Minutemen on a big winning streak, and our head coach Jason Henry here in the early going. Coach, I appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, always great to be on. Thanks, Nate.
Jason Henry tonight on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line, and again in action Friday night and Saturday. If you haven't seen the Hard Rocker men this year, it's fun basketball. It's gritty basketball. It's aggressive. I mean, it's good stuff. It really is. I've seen this team really progress, really grow, and get darn good. Some great athletes, some great basketball players, and South Dakota Mines, huge win over Colorado Mines, a top 20 team this past Saturday. That was victory number 150 for head coach Jason Henry. Again in action Friday night against Chadron State, Saturday afternoon against Regis at the King Center at the School of Mines. High school basketball dipping back into it with St. Thomas More head boys coach Dave Hollenbeck. Their season is underway and they're 1-1. Talk to Coach Hollenbeck about the preview of the season straight ahead on SD Sports Buzz tonight.
Each South Dakota farmer operates differently, and that means that ag insurance should be as unique as every farmer in the field. Fisher Rounds & Associates gets to know you and your operation before we find a policy. That way, we can make sure you have the coverage you need. Contact Fisher Rounds & Associates and see what it means to have us at your service and at your side. Fisher Rounds & Associates, serving South Dakota farmers with offices in Pierre, Mitchell, Watertown, Sioux Falls, and Rapid City.
2 p.m. this Monday, November 28th, McPherson Auction Company will conduct an internet online auction of the Peppers 401 Bar and Restaurant in Nisland, South Dakota. A turnkey bar and restaurant operation with nearly $150,000 in remodel and upgrades. Real estate includes 12 city lots, an entire city block, city beer and spirits license, on sale and off sale beer and liquor, full menu food. Open house to view Peppers 401 Bar and Restaurant from 1 till 3 p.m. this Sunday, November 27th. Auction starts to close at 2 p.m. this Monday, November 28th. Full auction details at McPhersonAuction.com.
How would you like to have your crown in 2 hours instead of 2 visits? Hi, this is Dr. Eldon Rice with Rice Area Dental in Rapid City. Technology is changing, and at Rice Area Dental, we are keeping up by using the latest state-of-the-art equipment. We offer crowns in hours instead of days. No more temporaries, no more multiple visits, no messy dental impressions, just same-day restorations.
Call us at 342-RICE. That's 342-7423. Dr. Rice Area Dental on Canyon Lake Drive, the dentist that makes you smile.
You're listening to SD Sports Buzz tonight with Nate Brown on Kim Radio. Talk that matters.
Welcome back. SD Sports Buzz tonight presented by Save-A-Lot Food Stores. To get stocked up for the holidays, the best prices on groceries in Rapid City at Save-A-Lot Food Stores. Also, great specials, daily specials on meat, steak, pork chops, chicken, all at Save-A-Lot Food Stores, East St. Patrick Street in Rapid City. Coming up, we'll talk to Michael Brooks for the first time, head coach of the Raider girls, Rapid City Stevens' new head coach, and trying to get them going this year. Had a tough game against Sioux Falls, Washington. A tight game, by the way, for the Raider girls that just slipped away. We'll talk to Coach Brooks coming up. Also on the boys' side, Chris Stabner, head coach for the Raider boys. I think he has an impressive team that he might be able to put some things together this year. Great opening win against Sioux Falls, Washington for the Raider boys. And we'll talk to Coach Stabner straight ahead. South Dakota High School basketball in full swing. And St. Thomas More, a customer, a likely customer at the top. And this St. Thomas More boys team doesn't look like they're going to take many games off, that's for sure. Head coach of the Cavalier boys is Dave Hollenbeck. He joins us on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line. Coach, how are you?
Doing good. Thanks, Nate.
I want to talk about your team this year. Coming in, everybody's looking at St. Thomas More saying, you made a great run last year, almost won another state championship. You didn't lose a bunch. You've got a lot of guys back. What was your overall evaluation of how this team maybe came in this season? You can't spend all summer with them and do a lot of things, but in the limited activity you could do, what was your evaluation of where your team's at here with a lot of returners coming into the season?
Well, we do have some good experience. I felt we came back with some stronger guys. And we did have a couple guys spend a lot of time. Jake Satter and Isaac Quartermeyer put a lot of time in this summer, and Tate Maher. So we had a good core group of guys that put a lot of time in. Austin Hammond's another one that spent a lot of time in the gym and traveling with us. So we've got a core group of guys that put some time in, and we bring back also Preston Arity as a senior, and he spent a lot of time with us as well in between the football camps and so forth, and he came back stronger. So pretty much all the guys come back to us a little stronger, and just another year of experience.
Are these guys even more hungry when you get close like that? What's the mentality of this team? They were right there, faced a great Sioux Falls Christian team, couldn't quite get over the top. You were that close. How do you think this team's going to react from getting almost there and bringing a lot of these guys back?
Well, you hope they have an understanding that, we came pretty close last year, and you hope they have an understanding they've got a good opportunity ahead of them. We have a very difficult schedule that should have us prepared. So, you're hopeful that they understand they have a good chance to make a title run if they put their minds to it.
I look at one spot that might have a tough go, where you had great leadership and you had great play last year, especially in the tournament, especially in the postseason, was the point guard spot. P.J. Friedell's one guy that you don't have coming back. How big is that spot?
Oh, it's big. It's like the quarterback in the football team, it's a huge spot, and we understand it's going to take us a little bit of time to get it back to where we want it. Tate Maher's filling in right now for us, and he's doing a great job to this point. I couldn't be happier with how he's playing, but he's got some room for improvement. I mean, it's early, and he's got to keep growing for us. And I one thing about Tate, he's very competitive, and he wants to win. So when you have that, he's gonna learn and grow.
Dave Holland back on tonight. St. Thomas More boys coach. The Cavalier boys looked locked and loaded again. They are 2-1 after 3 games. Through these 3 games, the only loss comes to Sioux Falls, Washington. First, the 3 games, what did you like from your guys here?
Well, I like the fact that, we're a little bit further along this year with some of our stuff that we run offensively and defensively. So, I like the fact that we're further into our playbook at this time of year, but, I feel we could be also better as far as executing offensively, and we need to get better moving our feet on defense and doing some block-out type stuff. But, I like where we're at. I feel we could be in better condition, but, we kind of decided this year we weren't going to go quite as hard up front, so we can have a little bit more at the back end.
I look at that game last night. Douglas was hanging around. You guys end up winning a double-digit game by right around 14 eventually there. Was that Douglas team improved?
Very much so. They're not the Douglas of last year. I mean, they've got some transfers in, and they've got some good players. I'm very impressed with them. And I knew they were going to be good. We saw them this summer, and we've known they're very athletic out front. They can all shoot the ball. They can get to the basket, and they're just got some quick hands. And so we knew they were going to be good. We knew they were going to present a lot of problems for us out on the perimeter, and they did. So I was just pleased with the way our guys stuck to the game plan, hung in there, and finally we got them to miss a few shots there in the fourth quarter, and we were able to finish the game.
St. Thomas More 2-1 in the early going, getting set for Alliance, Nebraska on Friday, and then going on the road to the Aberdeen Roncalli Classic. And I'm looking at your schedule, and you talked about a little bit challenging schedule. Not only challenging, but on the road, a lot of trips. I mean, I think it only looks like you get about 6 home games right here in Rapid City. What's that going to do to you, Coach, when you got to travel, you play all these tough teams? That's going to be a tough go.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we've got a grueling schedule, and it may not be to our advantage in the end as far as PowerPoints, but I hope it makes us a better team, and we just have to realize in the end, it doesn't matter who you play, you got to beat them if you're going to win a state title. So, we just have to have that approach, and like you say, we've got 6 games on the east side of the river left, and of course Alliance is doing really well down there. They've got 1 loss, and Douglas has improved. We're playing them twice. You saw where Sturgis beat Aberdeen Central, so they're pretty doggone good. And I mean, our schedule is tough this year.
I know you've had tough schedules in the past. It looks tough again. I want to ask you about what's the best attribute of this team? What are you relying on this year to make a run deep into the March again?
Well, I hope it's our experience. We've got some size and we've got some strong kids. So, I hope the fact that they've been working hard and we've been working out over at Scott Benson's place. He's doing a great job with our kids, and I think they're getting stronger and a little more athletic. And if we can continue to do that throughout the season, we combine that with our skill, and hopefully we can outplay some teams, coming down the stretch. So I think probably the biggest thing will be our experience, I hope.
Has this been a good start to the year so far, or do you want to see a little more?
Well, I'd like to see a little more, but that's probably just coach talking. I'm not totally disappointed or anything, but I felt we let one get away with Washington, and I wasn't happy how we started the game last night. But that's part of basketball. You're going to have ups and downs, and I'm pleased with these guys. Kind of actually looking forward to seeing how we do as we progress through the season.
St. Thomas More 2-1 in the early going. Dave Hollenbeck, Coach, I always appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Nate.
All right, Dave Hollenbeck does an outstanding job back at it for St. Thomas More. That's a team that is loaded up for another run. There's no doubt the key spot will be P.J. Friedel, who did a great job, really progressed, even throughout the year last year, was solid for the most part the whole year. But boy, oh boy, as the year went on, he just got better and better at the point guard spot. And that's the one X factor that they lose from last year's team that made a run to the state title game and just came up a little bit short. Look at St. Thomas More, big opportunity for them to win another State A title. And it's going to be a tough go, there's no doubt. A lot of good teams throughout Class A boys basketball, and a lot of good teams are going to play on their regular season schedule. We'll jump into girls basketball. A guy that's taken over in his first year, a college coach, comes from Bradley University, and now to Rapid City Stevens. What's the story of Michael Brooks, the first-year head coach for the Rapid City Stevens girls? We'll find out. He joins me live next on SD Sports Buzz tonight.
Quality and service first. Mel's Auto Body.
Hi, this is Kevin from Mel's Auto Body. In all my commercials, you will always hear quality and service first. 30 years ago, when my father Mel opened the doors, those were the words that he believed in, and those are the same words that we believe in today. At Mel's Auto Body, we take pride in your investment. We did then, and we still do today. Mel's Auto Body at 1755 South Valley Drive.
Quality and service first. Mel's Auto Body.
Your local Farm Bureau Financial Services agent Tom Berger in Rapid City realizes that farming and ranching is your livelihood, and he understands that. After all, the companies of Farm Bureau Financial Services were originally founded to serve the unique insurance and financial services needs of farmers and ranchers. Contact Farm Bureau agent Tom Berger in Rapid City to learn how he can make it simple to help you select the coverage that's right for you today and provide options for the future of your growing operation.
Call me, Tom Berger, your Farm Bureau agent in Rapid City at 348-3470.
In Rapid City, you've got a friend in real estate. Hi, I'm Ellen Roach. When buying or selling your home or property, Will Dixon is the man to see.
Will invites you to experience the Keller Williams culture. Whether you're buying or selling, he can assist you through the entire process with a free market analysis and advise you on all your options. Will handles all phases of real estate and has built a track record for success. Call Will Dixon at Keller Williams Black Hills, 390-1140, and let him be your friend in real estate.
Make the mountains your backyard. Make the lake your pool and the night sky your high-definition television. Stop by Dakota Discount RVs today and take a look at our wide variety of new and used fifth wheels, travel trailers, toy haulers, and more. We're sure you'll find something you love at a price you can afford. We take pride in our integrity and service long after the deal, so why pay more for good memories when you can buy with a comfortable, low-pressure, locally owned and operated RV dealer? At Dakota Discount RV, we can make your dreams come true at an affordable price.
3330 East Mall Drive, Rapid City. Your sports, your show. This is SD Sports Buzz Tonight with Nate Brown on Kim Radio. Talk that matters.
It's time for winter and time for shopping for a new four-wheel drive vehicle. The new 2017s are filling the lot, and the selection is great with over 150 here now and arriving daily. Drive an all-wheel drive 2017 Chevy Equinox and save over $4,000. Or drive a four-wheel drive 2017 Chevy Silverado half-ton crew cab and save nearly $8,000. Don't forget to grab your clean, gently used coats on your way out the door. It's our 7th annual coat drive for youth and family services. Feel the difference at Rapid Chevrolet, Rapid City, or see us online at rapidchevrolet.com.
Dale's Tire and Retreading has been providing quality brands of tires and excellent service to the Black Hills area for over 50 years. Dale's Tires sells tires for cars, trucks, SUVs, agriculture, construction, and more. Dale's Tire has what you need when you need it and offers appointment times to get you in and out faster. See the experts at Dale's Tire and Retreading. 2 convenient locations in Rapid City, 691 Deadwood Avenue and 3200 Campbell Street. Dale's Tire and Retreading. Looking for a winning team? Check out the Black Hills Unbeatable Tandem of Xerox and the color experts at Matheson's. Hit a home run with a Xerox Workcenter MFP today, and you'll be able to print, copy, and scan your crucial business documents and marketing materials just like the pros do. Matheson's cost per copy program is the safe play every time. You pay nothing up front for the equipment, and the high cost of supplies and repairs become a nightmare of the past. Visit the Matheson's team of Xerox All-Stars at 324 St. Joe Street, downtown Rapid City, or at mathesons.com.
The reason I go to Pro Auto Care is they're always good to me. They've been my mechanics for 6 years. I take it in on a regular basis for the oil changes, things like that. If they find something else wrong with it, they let you know, hey, you're going to need this done, or you might want to consider doing this. It's not oh, you need this done now. It's usually you can plan for it. They are the best. Wouldn't trust anybody with my vehicles but Pro Auto Care.
Pro Auto Care. Phone 342-0857, 1891 Rand Road, Rapid City. Getting you inside South Dakota sports. This is SD Sports Buzz Tonight with Nate Brown on Kim Radio. Talk that matters.
Quality and service first. Mel's Auto Body. Get a drive-through estimate or come on in. We're right here under the big red M. Over 30 years our family has put quality and service first. We take pride in making sure you're satisfied. Quality and service first. Mel's Auto Body.
Welcome back, SD Sports Buzz Tonight, live on 106.7 FM Kim Talk Radio and online streaming at sdsportsbuzz.com. Glad you're a part of the program. If it's Wednesday night, it's SD Sports Buzz Tonight. Here with Nate Brown, brought to you by Save-A-Lot Food Store, Save-A-Lot on East St. Patrick Street in Rapid City. Coming up, Chris Stabner, head coach for the Rapid City Stevens boys. We'll talk Raider basketball straight ahead. First, we'll talk Rapid City Central basketball. On the boys' side, head coach T.J. Hay joins us on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing good.
I want to talk to you about this opening week here. You've done this Wyoming thing now for a little bit at least. You have a little bit of experience with it. How do you like those games, first of all? As you know, you might have to say, well, I like them a lot because that's who we're playing, and that's what I got to do. But is it an interesting test for you right out of the gate because you play some pretty good teams over there?
Yeah, we did. We played some really good teams. We played both Cheyenne schools again. Well, now they got a third school, but we played Cheyenne Central and Cheyenne East just like we did last year. And of course, Cheyenne Central was the Wyoming State champs last year. And then, of course, we played Scotts Bluff, who could be one of the best teams on our schedule. They're the real deal. They're good inside and out. And, they're just kind of the whole package. But I actually really like it because we get to play all three levels. You know, our sophomores play 3 games, our JVs play 3 games, and you know, of course, the varsity gets 3 games, and it's a really good deal.
I look at these teams. You talk about it. Science Central, you lost by 6, lose to Scottsbluff by 12, lose to Cheyenne East by 7. I look at those games, competitive games, really, and I know it's not just coach speak either, because I've talked to some people. Those teams are good. I mean, they're expected to be pretty darn good again. So what did that tell you about your team, where you're at here in the early going? Are you ahead of pace? How far ahead from last year are you?
Oh, we're heads and tails better than last year. You know, we're not nearly the size we had last year, but you know, we probably played 10 kids, and we're without a big piece to our puzzle. Our point guard, Caleb Blandon, is in a cast. He broke his hand and had surgery last week, and so we went down there without a big piece to our puzzle, and we had played a lot of kids, and only really had 2 kids that had varsity time before, but our kids competed really well, and I would think another month, if we would go play those same teams, that we would definitely have a better outcome.
We're talking to T.J. Hay, head coach of the Rapid City Central boys. We kind of had this similar discussion last year, where kind of took some lumps in Wyoming, but you never really came out of it. At least towards the end, you did. Towards the middle to the end, you started coming out playing better. Had some lumps early on. It seems like you want to turn the corner much quicker, but how do you do that without a guy? I mean, Caleb Walton Blandon, arguably, your best player, right? One of the guys you really need. How are you going to fill that?
Well, we just have to have kids step up. The nice thing about it's early season, and so we got some kids that probably wouldn't have had much time early on that are stepping in on the varsity floor. And like I said, we had some kids that stepped up and especially our competitiveness. We competed in every game, and the first game we don't shoot free throws very well, and we make free throws, and we probably win that first game, and we played Scottsbluff tough, and the second 2 days we shot free throws really, really well, and we just didn't go to the line enough, and at the end, when you're not ahead at the end and teams make free throws, which is what happened in both games, it's tough to come back. But losing Caleb, he was leading scorer last year in the state tournament as a sophomore, and 6'2" point guard, and so we've had to adjust some position wise, and just make some little tweaks that we probably wouldn't have had to do, obviously, if he was playing, and it happened just a couple days before we headed out. So we had some kids playing in spots that they didn't practice in the first week, but like I said, we're far and above where we were last year at the same time. And, part of that was everything last year was new for them. So this year, there's nothing really new. It's just, they knew what to expect and what practices were like. And we got a big junior class. I think we got 13 juniors on the roster, and a lot of them obviously didn't play varsity, but, 8 or 10 of them got some varsity time this weekend.
Well, I was going to ask you, our discussion last year after this Wyoming weekend, I don't know if I can say you were down, but you could kind of tell this might be a tough go in the early going. Now you're 0-3, but totally different mindset, it seems, around Central basketball after the 0-3 Wyoming weekend. What makes this team better? Why is this team, you think, better? You said, well, they're just kind of used to it. Maybe it's the second year in your program. I get it, but it seems like you're just better, too.
It is. It's obviously you're better when you have better players, And, it's not very often you get to start 2 sophomores, in AA basketball. And last year our 1 and 2 guard were both sophomores, So, them coming in, obviously Caleb got hurt, but, those 2 are pretty much the leaders of our group. And they competed really well all year and kind of get after it and are vocal and good leadership. And, it's a little tougher when you're a sophomore to do that. And we really, struggled all year to get an upperclassman to kind of, take the reins and be a leader. And, and we just were kind of waiting, and the kids were waiting for somebody to do it. And towards the end of the year, our 2 sophomores did do that. And, it's kind of tough in AA basketball when you're a sophomore. And I thought we played really well in the state tournament. Even though we didn't win a game, probably 3 of the 5 best games we played, unfortunately, we just didn't win. But they got a chance to be there. They know what it's like. And, hopefully we get an opportunity to play this year, and then it won't be a shocker, because they've been there before. They know what to expect and things like that.
Yeah, I look at it. Last year, from the beginning to the end, there was big strides, and it seems like that's giving you a little confidence here in the early going. TJ Hay on tonight, Rapid City Central head boys coach. The Cobblers get set, make the trip out to Mitchell and Huron, weather permitting. I hope everything turns out. Let's look at this district here. I said it at the beginning of tonight's show. I really look at it here. You've had some parity before, and when you were at Stevens and now you're at Central. There's been parity in this district, but I look at Stevens boys, you guys, Sturgis. I'll even throw Douglas in. I don't know how many wins Douglas will get in some of the big games, but I think they're going to be in a lot of those big games. I look at these teams here. This might be one of the more competitive and parity. I'm saying these 4 teams look pretty good. What's your take?
Well, I think since I've been coaching, out here, I would say this is probably the one time where all 4 teams, have a chance to beat any of the other teams. There's been times where there are 3 teams that were pretty good, but Sturgis had all younger kids playing last year. Douglas got a couple transfers in. I watched them play last night. They're the real deal. I mean, they can shoot it. They can flat out shoot it. And teams that, can shoot the ball are going to be in games. And, of course, Stevens has got most of their kids back, or at least the main core of their group. And, they knock off Washington and jump to number 1 in the poll this week. So, I think a lot of people are going to be excited, and it's going to be fun season for West River basketball.
Yeah, that's really what I said at the opening of the show was, I don't know if, I don't want to say too much too early here. It's still, opening weekend, but District 4 in AA boys basketball, look out. I don't know if a lot of people are realizing top to bottom, some good teams out here and an exciting season coming up. For head coach TJ Hay, head coach at Central. Coach, I appreciate it. Good luck this weekend.
All right. Thanks, Nate. Thanks for having me.
You bet. TJ Hay tonight. Good to talk to him. Head coach for the Central boys. Joins us on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line here on SD Sports Buzz tonight. All guests via the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line. Coming back, Chris Stabner on tap, the Stevens head boys coach. They're at number 1 in some of the polls out there after the big win over Sioux Falls, Washington. I've talked about this guard play at Stevens is maybe some of the best you'll see in all of South Dakota high school basketball this year. Go to Carroll Higher Gymnasium this year. I'm telling you, the Raider boys are going to fill it up a little bit. We'll talk to Chris Stabner coming up, also in his second year as head coach there. A guy in his first year as head coach at Stevens, Michael Brooks, head coach for the Raider girls. He gets let go from Bradley University and comes to Rapid City. Let him explain what he is expecting for his Raider team this year. Michael Brooks joins me live next.
Insurance. We all need it to protect our homes, health, businesses, and belongings. But having adequate coverage is just the beginning. You also need the support of professionals who stand by your side to protect what's important to you. Fisher Rounds & Associates combines the coverage you want with the commitment you need. Fisher Rounds & Associates. At your service, at your side. With offices in Pierre, Mitchell, Watertown, Sioux Falls, and Rapid City.
In Rapid City, you've got a friend in real estate. Hi, I'm Ellen Roach. When buying or selling your home or property, Will Dixon is the man to see.
Will invites you to experience the Keller Williams culture. Whether you're buying or selling, he can assist you through the entire process with a free market analysis and advise you on all your options. Will handles all phases of real estate and has built a track record for success. Call Will Dixon at Keller Williams Black Hills, 390-1140, and let him be your friend in real estate.
2 p.m. this Monday, November 28th, McPherson Auction Company will conduct an internet online auction of the Peppers 401 Bar and Restaurant in Nisland, South Dakota. A turnkey bar and restaurant operation with nearly $150,000 in remodel and upgrades. Real estate includes 12 city lots, an entire city block, city beer and spirits license, on sale and off sale beer and liquor, full menu food. Open house to view Peppers 401 Bar and Restaurant from 1 till 3 p.m. this Sunday, November 27th. Auction starts to close at 2 p.m. this Monday, November 28th. Full auction details at McPhersonAuction.com.
How would you like to have your crown in 2 hours instead of 2 visits? Hi, this is Dr. Eldon Rice with Rice Area Dental in Rapid City. Technology is changing, and at Rice Area Dental, we are keeping up by using the latest state-of-the-art equipment. We offer crowns in hours instead of days. No more temporaries, no more multiple visits, no messy dental impressions, just same-day restorations.
Call us at 342-RICE. That's 342-7423. Dr. Rice Area Dental on Canyon Lake Drive, the dentist that makes you smile.
Welcome back into SD Sports Buzz tonight, South Dakota's live and local sports talk radio program. Nate Brown in the studio. Glad to have you on board as always. If it's Wednesday night, it's SD Sports Buzz tonight on 106.7 FM Kim Talk Radio and online streaming with live video. You can watch the show wherever you may be at sdsportsbuzz.com. Remember, tomorrow, if you miss any interviews live on this show, you can catch all the coaches and all the podcasts, all the archived interviews from this show posted right there at sdsportsbuzz.com. West River's #1 source for South Dakota high school and college sports, sdsportsbuzz.com. Go there tomorrow if you miss any live interviews from this program. Coming up, we'll talk to Brandon Candlin, head coach of the St. Thomas More girls. They've just been on an unbelievable run, and many people wondering, when is this run going to come to an end? You know, when are they going to stop winning state championships? And I mean, they've won state championships easily. I mean, it hasn't even been close the last few years. They've won it easily, and they look like they're darn good again. We'll talk to Brandon Candlin, head coach for the St. Thomas More girls on tap. Also tonight, still coming up, Chris Stabner, head coach of the Rapid City Stevens Raider boys, who jumped to the #1 spot in some of the high school polls out this week after the win over Sioux Falls, Washington. Speaking of Rapid City Stevens, the Raider girls are in action this weekend at home at Carroll Higher Gymnasium. Friday night against Huron. Mitchell on Saturday afternoon, and you can hear the Raider action right here on 106.7 FM Kim Talk Radio with the play-by-play. Brian Fisher will have the call this weekend. Let's go to the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line and talk to Rapid City Stevens Raider head girls basketball coach Michael Brooks. Joins us for the first time tonight. Coach, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Coach. I appreciate you coming on. Haven't talked to you and wanted to introduce you to the audience. And you've been in Rapid City now for a while. And first things first, I mean, you come to Rapid City, you're experiencing all that is here and in the high school and trying to run your program and trying to get things started. First things first, what do you think of Rapid City? I mean, I know it's only about 7 degrees out right now, so you're probably wondering what you've done here. But what do you think of your welcome so far?
Well, I love Rapid City. You know, my in-laws are from this place, and my wife grew up in Spearfish, and you know, for us, it's been an opportunity to come back to a place that, you know, we've kind of called our second home. You know, we've spent most of our summers up here, not really in Rapid, but up by the Deadwood area and Lead, and you know, for us, it's just a chance to come home, be around family, and Stevens is a wonderful place, great community, and they've just really opened their arms and have let me come in and, you know, bring a whole new brand of basketball and culture to everything we're doing. And this has been a great experience so far.
I want to ask you, you know, a lot of people are looking at it saying, well, Michael Brooks, head coach at Bradley, you were there 4 years essentially at Bradley, coached, you know, college basketball and running that program. And then now you come to Rapid City Stevens, and you said you've got some challenges. You're trying to change culture. You're trying to do some big things there. I want to ask you, what's been the hardest part for you going from college, that whole scenario, now going to high school? What's been the biggest adjustment here?
Learning how to take a breath because, you know, at the college level, it's 24/7. You know, you have access to your players, you know, whenever you want them. And, you know, there are NCAA rules when they say you can work out and can't work out. but to have only 8 practices before you play your first game, I got to commend high school coaches because that's unreal to be able to, and from my standpoint, to be able to put in a whole program in 8 days. That's a challenging feat. So I think that's the biggest adjustment for me is the time frame in which I have to work is different because at the college level, you get summertime where you can have practices. You have fall where you can have small number groups into large number groups into now it's a tryout and here you go. And you got 8 days to figure it out and get something in place for your girls to be successful.
Yeah, no doubt. An adjustment for you. Michael Brooks on tonight, head coach for the Rapid City Stevens girls in his first year. We'll talk about your game this past week, but first I want to get your take more on, now you're, like you said, you're not coaching all the time. I mean, you're still trying to get this program in position, trying to make this program a consistent winner, so still taking it very serious. I get that, but is it tough for you to not be, coaching basketball at the college level? Is it tough right now? What's the personal feeling like?
No doubt. For 10 years, almost 12 years, I was a college coach. Whether it was, small college, large college, director of operations, I've kind of run the gamut, in terms of working your way up. And, I miss that being the only thing that you do all day long. When watching film for me was something that we did all summer into sitting down with my staff and being able to just talk basketball all the time. So it's a big difference and a challenging thing for me to not. I do miss it. I mean, it was the most amazing time of my life. I went straight from playing into coaching, and it's shaped everything about who I am, and the college game gave me so much, but it also brought me here. And, my mentor is Jim Sutherland, and, for him, he was honest with me from the get-go. He was a college coach, and he ended up in high school at the end, and he said, coaching is coaching. It doesn't matter what level. You've got to be able to teach the game and put it in terms that they understand and allow them to be able to make plays. And, no matter what level it is, it's awesome to do, but I do miss the college game. I do miss inundating all my life. But I did miss my kids. So it's good to see them, and it's really great to be able to have time with them and see them grow and be able to go to their sporting events and, really devote myself to them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple more, and I'll let you run. Talking to Michael Brooks, head coach of the Rapid City Stevens girls, was former coach at Bradley University, and now at Rapid City Stevens. Right or wrong, Coach, and this is right or wrong, but many people think, well, as college coach, big-time coach, man, we got some high expectations here. Is that a fair assessment? It seems like a lot of people might think, this guy's going to be setting the world on fire, and we're going to do some big things. How do you try and balance that?
We just take it day by day, practice by practice. We are only worried about attitude and effort. If our attitude and our effort is in the right place, then we'll consistently be making the strides to get where we want to go. There's no doubt this program was, 7-12, 7-13 or something like that last year. So for us, if our attitude and our effort is there in practice, then we have to learn how to win games. We have to learn how to finish in scenarios where, we might not be as comfortable as we have because we haven't been there in a long time. So, big expectations are wonderful. I'd rather have big expectations than small ones. That means that I have at least accomplished something before I've gotten here, and they expect for me to bring something new in. And I welcome that with open arms. But at the same time, I don't want my team to be worried about what other people think because, it's about us, and it's about what we want to accomplish, about our goals, and about doing this together. A team is a special thing, and, I've got a special group of young ladies that I get to work with every single day, and my coaches, and, I'm just blessed to be able to be here. So, we're not worried about the expectations. We're just worried about our attitude and our effort and staying consistent with that every day.
Michael Brooks, head coach, Rapid City Stevens Raider girls. They are at home this weekend against Huron and Mitchell after an opening game loss in OT to a good Sioux Falls, Washington team. You lose it by 2. Let's talk about that a little bit. How are you getting caught up to speed, Coach? Because you're not totally familiar. I mean, it's not like you're totally unfamiliar with South Dakota, but you're not totally familiar with the teams, the players, and I know you get film and you try and get caught up to speed. Seemed like you had a good opening game. You lose it by 2 in OT. How you trying to get up to speed yourself running a program and finding out what you need to do against the opponents here?
Huddle is a great thing that we've got to be able to use. I'm used to at the college level. We break down a lot of film, so it's a little bit different here. But at the same time, it's easy to grab things, and there's a lot of people asking for film. And film exchange has become a real big thing in high school, so we're able to get the film on people. But the opening game was difficult because I don't know who their players are. I didn't know what they were going to run, and honestly, we really didn't care. What we were more concerned about was us. We have to be concerned about what we're running because we only had 8 days to practice what we were running. So for us, we didn't worry about who was lining up against us. Every great coach will tell you this, you're going to see an odd front zone, an even front zone. You're going to see that in the full court, in the three-quarter court, in the half court. You're going to see a run and jump. You're going to see, some teams that are going to switch it up halfway through a possession. So from an offensive standpoint, we just have to have everything in ready to go. So it didn't really matter what we were going to see or who we were going to see. We already had things in to combat it. But at the same time, my team got a real good indication of, when we don't have certain things in and we're not really fluid with it yet, they had to learn how to read things off of a clipboard and execute them. And I was really impressed with our ability to fight against a team of that caliber. We were up 5 points in overtime, and, I think we should have been able to pull it away. But as I was alluding to earlier, when you're in positions that you haven't been in before, you've got to teach yourself how to win and how to close games. And, we've been doing a lot of situational scrimmages this week, trying to get ourselves, used to those situations and closing out those games so we can take that confidence and keep on rolling, through each of these games and growing every single day.
My early assessment, I'll let you run with this. My early assessment is you have some great young players. There really are. There's some great young talent there that we saw right away. You have some good leadership with some veteran players too. What's your assessment here? You like the makeup of this team as far as that goes?
Oh, I love the team. I think the style that we're playing fits us as well. To allow them a little bit looser style to get out there and press, to get out there and run and jump, to get out there and create chaos is what we call it. So, I've been very happy that, we had, this personnel to be able to do that. You talk about the mix between the older kids and the younger kids. I think we need time to be able to gel, though, because we've got some younger kids that are making some big impressions on our team. We've got some older kids who have been a mainstay, but now they need to learn how to play together. They need to learn how to share the ball. They need to learn how to trust one another, and that's only going to come in time. And as we continue to grow and continue to get reps, continue to talk and understand and communicate, continue to do team building exercises and things that just aren't related to basketball, the better we're going to be when it's all said and done. We're not just gearing towards every game. This is a marathon, and we want to be our best at the end. So, we just got to keep growing and allowing our team to gel and understand one another, and we will get to where we want to be and reach our goals at the end.
Pretty good start. Ended up just on the losing end in OT. Almost got a big one. See if the Raider girls can do it this weekend against Huron and Mitchell. Head coach is Michael Brooks in his first year here at Stevens. Coach, look forward to watching you and talking to you throughout the year. I appreciate you coming on. Thanks.
I appreciate it as well. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to talk to you again.
All right, Michael Brooks tonight. Appreciate his time. First-year head coach for the Rapid City Stevens girls, and first time here on SD Sports Buzz tonight with Nate Brown, courtesy of the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line. Good to talk to him. And again, their game's live here on 106.7 FM Kim Talk Radio. The Raider girls against Huron on Friday night, Mitchell on Saturday afternoon. The live play-by-play with Brian Fisher here on Kim Talk Radio. We come right back and talk Raider boys basketball with head coach Chris Stabner. He joins me live next. It's SD Sports Buzz tonight here with Nate Brown, presented by Save-A-Lot Food Stores.
You've got it locked on South Dakota's sports talk show, SD Sports Buzz tonight with Nate Brown on Kim Radio. Talk that matters.
Your local Farm Bureau Financial Services agent Tom Berger in Rapid City realizes that farming and ranching is your livelihood, and he understands that. After all, the companies of Farm Bureau Financial Services were originally founded to serve the unique insurance and financial services needs of farmers and ranchers. Contact Farm Bureau agent Tom Berger in Rapid City to learn how he can make it simple to help you select the coverage that's right for you today and provide options for the future of your growing operation.
Call me, Tom Berger, your Farm Bureau agent in Rapid City, at 348-3470.
Make the mountains your backyard. Make the lake your pool and the night sky your high-definition television. Stop by Dakota Discount RVs today and take a look at our wide variety of new and used fifth wheels, travel trailers, toy haulers, and more. We're sure you'll find something you love at a price you can afford. We take pride in our integrity and service long after the deal, so why pay more for good memories when you can buy with a comfortable, low-pressure, locally owned and operated RV dealer? At Dakota Discount RV, we can make your dreams come true at an affordable price.
3330 East Mall Drive, Rapid City.
It's time for winter and time for shopping for a new four-wheel drive vehicle. The new 2017s are filling the lot, and the selection is great with over 150 here now and arriving daily. Drive an all-wheel drive 2017 Chevy Equinox and save over $4,000. Or drive a four-wheel drive 2017 Chevy Silverado half-ton crew cab and save nearly $8,000. Don't forget to grab your clean, gently used coats on your way out the door. It's our 7th annual coat drive for youth and family services. Feel the difference at Rapid Chevrolet, Rapid City, or see us online at rapidchevrolet.com.
Dale's Tire and Retreading has been providing quality brands of tires and excellent service to the Black Hills area for over 50 years. Dale's Tires sells tires for cars, trucks, SUVs, agriculture, construction, and more. Dale's Tire has what you need when you need it and offers appointment times to get you in and out faster. See the experts at Dale's Tire and Retreading. 2 convenient locations in Rapid City, 691 Deadwood Avenue and 3200 Campbell Street. Dale's Tire and Retreading.
We're back on SD Sports Buzz tonight, 106.7 FM, Kim Talk Radio, and online streaming at sdsportsbuzz.com. Glad to have you on board. Nate Brown in the studio. Remember, sdsportsbuzz.com, your home for all the interviews from this radio program. If you miss anybody live, you can go to sdsportsbuzz.com tomorrow. All the interviews archived right there. You can listen to all the coaches, break them down. Each podcast is broken out for you, and you can get up to speed on your favorite program, like the Rapid City Stevens Raider boys basketball program under head coach Chris Stabner, back on SD Sports Buzz tonight for the first time this season. He joins us on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line. Coach, how are you?
Good, Nate. Thanks for having me again, and it's basketball season, isn't it?
No doubt. I said this polar vortex reminds me of that, by the way. I mean, it's a constant reminder. It's basketball season. What's this like, Coach? Second year now. Do you feel much more in control? I mean, what's it like overall just from that standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's, that a little more continuity as far as just, obviously being there a year, the whole year, and then having the summer to kind of work with the guys. It's we kind of, instead of, having to spend the first week learning a new offense, we can learn some other things, already kind of knowing what we want to do offensively and the kids knowing. So it's made it a little easier transition that way this year.
I want to get your take right away. I don't know if a lot of people around the state early on here are thinking Rapid City Stevens boys are as good as maybe I think you are. You've jumped up to number 1 in some polls, though, so maybe you're getting people's attention after that opening win. These expectations this year, where do you put your expectations on this team?
Well, I mean, I think, from the way we ended last year and returning, maybe 2 of our better players from last year, our expectations are to get back to that state tournament again and just try to play in our best basketball at the end of the year. I thought Friday we played really well and maybe even, surprised me a little bit, especially on the defensive end. And, and that's going to be the key all year long. I know that we've got guys capable of scoring, but we've got to be able to defend and rebound consistently to be able to kind of, accomplish our big goal of getting to the state tournament and then, hopefully winning it.
You said you were surprised maybe a little bit on the defensive end because you want to hang your hat on that end. That's where you thought you were inconsistent a little bit last year, and it shows in some of the scores that you were able to, score and a lot of the time, but maybe on the defensive side, struggled a little bit in certain games. Why were you surprised? What did you do great that you need to continue to do?
Yeah, I mean, and we tell the kids, almost every day. I mean, the path to win a state title is you have to defend, you have to rebound. Again, I knew we can score some points this year, but like I said, I think just not maybe knowing, can we be? We lost a couple of what I call them garbage pail kids from last year, and replacing those types of kids are tough. And maybe not knowing going to the first game who's going to fill that role. I thought we had a number of guys really step up and just really compete on the glass and compete defensively, and then that's why we won the game. Really, I mean, we scored points, but it's because we got stops and we rebounded.
Yeah, no doubt. Sioux Falls, Washington, by the way, only scored 46 points against the Raider boys this past weekend. Stevens ends up with a 13-point win and jumps up to the number one ranking in some polls. Is that dangerous, Coach? I mean, you like it. I get it. You want to have high expectations. You want to have people take notice. I think that's a good thing for a program overall. But one game, you're ranked number one. It's always a dangerous thing when people start saying you guys are really good.
Yeah, and that's, we haven't talked a lot about it. I mean, I knew coming into the week it may happen, and, it did. And we talked about how it's the first week. It's one game. We want to be number one at the end of the season, not at the beginning. And, obviously it's always a good honor, although early. It's a good honor to have, but we know that, come Friday night, we're going into Huron, and that might be the toughest place we'll play all year, and then they're going to use that, I'm sure, as even more motivation. But, if we want to eventually be at the top or number one, you know what? We'll have to go through situations like this, but right now our focus is just going in and competing on Friday.
Chris Stabner on tonight, Rapid City Stevens boys basketball coach, ranked number one in some polls here in South Dakota high school basketball, beat Sioux Falls, Washington by 13 this past weekend at Carroll Higher Gymnasium. Now gets set to go on the road with Mitchell and Huron this weekend. I talked about your two players that and you mentioned two guys. Well, it's Archambault and it's Martin. Jacob Martin, Mason Archambault. These two players are, I think, maybe the best tandem out there. Where do you see the ceiling for these guys?
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you, and I go a step further. I think, if you had Cooper Bowman in there, we might have three of the, that combination of three, I think, is one of the better trio in the state. And I just think, what they can do offensively, they can do, you talk about be able to do everything, they can shoot, they can pass, they can put it on the floor, which makes us tough to defend on the perimeter. Now, like I said, can we do it on the other end as well? But yeah, I'd agree with you. I mean, they're as good as, I think anybody combination trio in the state.
Do you, when you coach them, how much, leeway is there? I mean, to let them kind of do their thing. Have you had to kind of maybe even learn to say, hey, yeah, sometimes it's free balling here a little bit? It seems like they can get it going, just kind of freestyle a little bit sometimes.
Well, yeah, it's one of the things. It's something I've had to kind of adjust to. I mean, I'm kind of a hands-on coach, and sometimes even my assistants got to say, just let them play, and then they're so good out there on the floor as far as just offensively. That's what you got to do sometimes, and we try to do that a little more with our offense this year. Is a little more spread it out, and just let the kids make plays, and I just keep my hands off a little bit, as tough as it is sometimes to want to kind of control things.
Yeah, you got great guard play. We talked about it, and you said you had some of those utility guys, those garbage guys, gritty. They maybe you didn't have a post dominant player. I wouldn't say that, but just guys that got on the glass, got big rebounds, got solid defensively. Where's that going to fit here this year? It seems like maybe more by committee on the interior. On the interior, are you going to be needing to find that one guy or those two guys to really get some things done consistently?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think so. I mean, that's this year we aren't big again, and we're probably smaller than we were last year. But our talk the last couple of weeks is you can act or you can mentally be bigger, tougher than you are, and that's what we kind of have to do with this group. Is when they get in there, they've got to battle. The other night they had 2 6'7" guys on the court most of the time, and our tallest is 6'4", and we just battled, and that's what we're going to have to do a lot of nights is battle defensively. And then on the boards as well, and we've got to find guys that will do that consistently. We got it the other night. Can we, continue to get that night in, night out?
When you look, I'll let you run with this. Chris Stabner on tonight, Raider boys basketball coach. When you look at AA overall, it seems like Sioux Falls O'Gorman could be salty, and it's still early, so it's tough to know. Brandon Valley, even Sioux Falls, Washington, who you beat. But is this team right here, you set our goal, we want to get back to the state tournament first and then see what happens. This seems like it might be a state championship caliber, some people say.
Well, obviously we played well Friday night, and we've got the pieces, we do. But can we put it together? Can we defend? Can we rebound consistently? That's going to be at the end of the day, that's gonna be the tale of the season. And yes, we have the potential. I think a lot of teams, a handful of teams can say that this year as well. And we'll just have to see how things go. If we keep improving and we're playing our best ball at the end of the year, there's no doubt we got to be in the discussion.
You said it, Coach. Big weekend here. I mean, Mitchell maybe doesn't look like the Mitchell of old, but Huron-Mitchell, always tough road trip, no doubt about it. And look forward to seeing how it turns out this weekend. Coach, I appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, Nate, appreciate it.
All right, Chris Stabner tonight, head coach of the Raider boys. Big start, no doubt. 13-point win over Sioux Falls, Washington, who was ranked number 1. Now the Raider boys jump into that spot in a lot of polls. Chris Stabner joins us tonight on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line. We come right back and talk to a team that has been as dominant as I've seen. I mean, there is not a more dominant team in high school basketball that we've seen in a long, long time. The St. Thomas More girls program might be on their way to another state championship run. Their head coach is Brandon Candlin. We'll get his take on the season coming up next.
Looking for a winning team? Check out the Black Hills Unbeatable Tandem of Xerox and the color experts at Matheson's. Hit a home run with the Xerox Workcenter MFP today, and you'll be able to print, copy, and scan your crucial business documents and marketing materials just like the pros do. Matheson's cost per copy program is the safe play every time. You pay nothing up front for the equipment, and the high cost of supplies and repairs become a nightmare of the past. Visit the Matheson's team of Xerox All-Stars at 324 St. Joe Street, downtown Rapid City, or at Mathesons.com.
Real South Dakota sports talk for real South Dakota sports fans. This is SD Sports Buzz Tonight with Nate Brown on Kim Radio. Talk that matters. Listen to what Pro Auto Care customers have to say.
You definitely can trust Tom and Carl and Chris. They are very good mechanics. They always do what's best for their customers and their customers' vehicles. They will always let you know the problems completely before they do any work on your vehicle. And since I've met Tom, I won't take my car any place but Pro Auto Care.
Pro Auto Care. Phone 342-0857, 1891 Rand Road, Rapid City.
When it comes to protecting your home and your belongings, what works for your neighbor most likely won't work for you. Insurance is personal, and that's why the coverage specialists at Fisher Rounds & Associates work with you to tailor a policy that protects your family, home, auto, and other valuable possessions at the most reasonable cost possible. We sweat the small and the big stuff, so you don't have to. That's at your service, at your side. Fisher Rounds & Associates, with offices in Pierre, Mitchell, Rapid City, Sioux Falls, and Watertown.
Welcome back into SD Sports Buzz tonight, presented by Save-A-Lot Food Stores on East St. Patrick Street here in Rapid City. Get stocked up for the holidays and the best discounts store-wide. All your staples, all the groceries you need, get the deal at Save-A-Lot Food Stores, East St. Patrick Street in Rapid City. Nate Brown on SD Sports Buzz tonight, 106.7 FM, Kim Talk Radio, and online streaming at sdsportsbuzz.com. Talking to St. Thomas More girls head basketball coach Brandon Candlin, who is back with another pretty good team. It sure seems that way, and he joins us on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line. Coach, how are you? I'm great, Nate. How are you? I'm doing good. What's your take here, Coach, on this team this year? It seems like, you keep on filling the spots from all these great players you've had. You've had unbelievable talent, great college players, and it seems like you're filling the spots. Early on here, what's been your assessment so far through the first couple of games?
I think we've filled some spots pretty well. Certainly last year losing 4 of our starters, we had to have figure out who was going to step into what shoes and some roles that we needed to be filled. And so far, I think that we've done a pretty good job.
It seems that way. I say this: you do a good job with what you have, and there's been the teams that you've had. You won state championships with. You've had some great talent, but you've had some role players fitting in as well. And it seems like this year, it is another one of those years that you have some role players, you have some great talent too, like a Drew Gilton who's going to play at Utah. But how do you look at this year's team, maybe from last year? What's different? Because, like I said, you lose 4 starters. You have some players step right in, and it doesn't seem like you've missed a beat here. What's different about this year's team from last year?
Well, I think one of the main things is last year we certainly, if we seemed to not be able to score, we got the ball in Kira's hands, and she was able to take control. And but again, we were surrounded by a lot of great role players, like you say, and I think that's going to be important this year. Is everybody understands what we're going to try and do, and who's capable of what, and as long as we accept those roles, and I think one thing is this year we play great team basketball so far. I think that part has been we understand that we're going to have to play great team basketball, and we're taking advantage of that. And with Drew leading the way, her ability to see the floor on both ends, anticipate well, create well on the offensive end. Everybody better be ready because she'll get you the ball. But just the overall chemistry of the team is definitely a little bit different. Everybody's going to be able to step up and do different things, and I'm very pleased with what we've done so far.
I look at Drew Gilton. She's going to Utah. She has great athleticism, great talent. There's a lot of teams that are going to try and dial in on her. That's just my perception here, because you start looking at how do we scout this team and what do we need to do. They're going to try and dial up the pressure. They're going to try and zero in on her. You as a coach, what does that make you do to try and make sure she's going to continue to excel? And like you said, get other people involved too. But how do you try and have to game plan to keep Drew Gilton at a high level?
Well, I think that, we got to first make sure that she's challenged in practice and, make sure that all parts of her game on both ends, defensively and offensively, are clicking. And she has that ability. And so I guess the thing that we're looking for is if somebody wants to take her away, who's going to be willing to step up. And one of the things, hopefully, is, if she has the ball in the open court, that's the toughest part I think the teams would have, is trying to figure out how to shut her down. And when I look at the players that are around, we've got the ability to score from different positions in different places. So if they were going to try and, if anybody wants to try and, keep her at bay, I guess she has still just, I think, that ability to find somebody that's going to be open. And if we can keep her in the open court with her vision, I think that's going to be a huge key for us.
Is this team going to be as good of a shooting team from the perimeter all the way around, or are you going to have to score in different ways?
I think we still have the ability to score from the outside. I also believe that we might have the ability to score better inside, though. With Ashlyn Duffy at 6'1" inside, very talented, can create and have the ability to step out and shoot a three. I mean, she knocked down a three against Washington, so that's going to cause some problems. And then, again, we got another big girl inside with Wojcik who's able to, create space, and we want her to try and finish a little bit better. But, we might have maybe a little more well-rounded instead of trying to score so much from the outside. However, I look at things we've done previous years. Certainly, a lot of our scoring comes from the defensive end. We got to make sure that we take care of the defensive end, and when we have a chance to push the ball, take advantage of those easy baskets.
St. Thomas More getting set to play Spearfish tomorrow. The head coach of the Cavalier girls is Brandon Candle, and they've been on an unbelievable run, state title after state title. When you look at the overall picture here, Coach, you've had an unbelievable run, there's no doubt, and very high expectations again this year. How do you continue to get these players motivated to continue to it seems as though these players, one team doesn't want to let the other team down. You win it last year. Well, now the expectation is we got to win it. How do you continue to put this together?
Well, I think that's just it. Once we've started that winning, as our numbers show, or the few that we have, right now, 16 girls, 9 through 12, they're in practice, and they're practicing against that team.
An unbelievable start. We're talking double digits average and rebounding and assists, and just doing a great job in all facets of the game right away at that level. Did that surprise you just a little bit? I mean, right away, seeing she goes from St. Thomas More, your program, to being one of the better players out there, it seems like?
Maybe a little surprising, but you look at the arsenal that she has. What is just a very talented player. I suppose growing up in that family too, the basketball mind that she has. She has all those tools. Being 6', 6'1", and she can shoot from deep. She has a quick first step. She's got long arms. She can defend really well. I think that she's put all those things together, and once she stepped in that different venue and that different speed at that level, I think she was able to make those adjustments very quickly. And, I know she had a very good summer with them when they traveled and played. And, I'm very proud of what she's been able to do. And I think she's very capable of it. I'm very excited to see where she continues to go from here.
Unbelievable start for Kira Duffy, straight out of the St. Thomas More program, and making a big impact for a good USD women's basketball team that's also been on a pretty good run, of course, under new head coach now out at USD. Brandon Candle, head coach at St. Thomas More, off to a great start. Cavalier girls basketball getting set for a big week, and we'll see if you can make it out there this weekend, Coach. I appreciate you coming on. Good luck.
As always, appreciate it, Nate.
All right, Brandon Candlin tonight. Good to talk to the St. Thomas More girls coach, who has been on a run that I have not seen. This has been unbelievable dominance, and not only how many state titles they've won, but in the fashion that they've won them. I mean, it's just been untouchable. Just not even really close in a few of these runs. St. Thomas More girls, I think a lot of people thought, they're going to lose 4 starters now, and so maybe not be quite as good. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. I think they're going to be really, really good again, and one of the favorites to win it again in Class A girls basketball. A lot of guests tonight, a lot of great basketball talk. Really enjoyed it. Hope you did as well. We will not be back next Wednesday better than ever. I will be in San Diego. I got to rub it in just a little bit, going to the Poinsettia Bowl. But the following week, I look forward to having that report. My first ever experience at a bowl game, as long as I've been doing this sports media thing. Haven't been to a bowl game yet. Going to watch Wyoming, BYU in the Poinsettia Bowl next Wednesday. So I'll be out back in the next week. If it's Wednesday night, it's SD Sports Buzz tonight. Looking forward to a great basketball season, as I said at the start of this program tonight. I think this basketball season out here, West River, going to be really, really good from top to bottom. I think we're going to see some great games, and we kind of get overshadowed. I mean, everybody talks about some struggles we've had in football and certain things. Basketball, get ready. I think it's going to be good basketball. AA, Class A, great stuff. Hope everybody has a great weekend with the LNI. Welcome all the teams and all the players and fans for the Lakota Nation Invitational. Big weekend of hoops right here at the Civic Center. Welcome all the LNI members. Look forward to seeing how that goes the rest of the week, and hope everybody has a great week and weekend. We'll see you next time, Wednesday night, 2 weeks from tonight, here on 106.7 FM, Kim Talk Radio, and online at sdsportsbuzz.com. See ya.